Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Debbie. I pretty much make videos about travel experience, vlogs, lifestyle, school, and also life generally here in Germany. We recently clocked 1 year, and we made like a part one of our relocation
Yeah.
to Germany. So if you haven't watched that, please make sure to do so. Now, in today's video, we'll be making a part two of our 1 year journey in Germany. So just to make it interesting, we came up with like a Q&A. We'll basically be giving answers to some of these questions that we have listed out. These questions were coined from previous questions we have been asked by some of our friends and also people we encounter with. And we came up with some of the questions that we'll be answering as well. So please don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We all know that relocating to a totally new country comes with a lot of expectations,
Yeah.
which is why we're going to be starting our very first question with what were your expectations relocating to Germany?
Okay. So I think the very first expectation was we expected to stay in our temporary apartment because if you remember from the first parts where we talked about moving to a temporary place for
Yeah.
the first 6 months, and the plan then was we'll stay there for 6 months and then get a permanent apartment. But when we got here, we found out that the process to get a permanent apartment is like very hard.
Extremely hard.
So yeah, that I think that's like the first expectation we had that was dashed when we came.
Yeah, so I think another expectation would be learning the
Hmm?
language. So I remember while we were in Nigeria, we started learning
Yeah.
like the German language using Duolingo. And my expectation was to learn German within a year. Like, guys, what was I thinking of?
Now that I think of it, I think it was actually the excitement that got to
I
us.
know, I
Because
think
I
so.
remember downloading Duolingo and every day I would put in five
We're always
minutes.
saying, oh, Guten Morgen, all those kind of stuff. An expectation was learning the language within a year. So, this is based on our experience because people
Yeah.
learn
Yeah.
languages
Some people are very good with
very
languages.
fast, extremely fast. But in our case, like it took a lot of time. In fact, it's still taking a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
So, I think that was one expectation for us
Yeah.
as
And I
well.
mean some people have not learned their language yet. Talk more of learning German. So but
Yeah.
anyways, another expectation I would say we had was there are some institutions that we read that they were very good for expats. That's for
Yeah.
those that are moving to Germany. And so when you come, you should open an account with them or you should work with them. For example, I remember the bank, I won't mention their name. They
I was
claimed that
actually going to mention their name right now.
they claim that like they are very good when it comes to English speaking people. And then we opened the account thinking that okay, when it comes to communication support, they will have English. But to be very honest, when you call their customer care line, it's German. When they send you their tons of letters, it's in German. You have to
You have to
translate.
translate.
Even when you go to their bank, sometimes you meet like English speaking customer service representatives, but sometimes their English is very poor. I remember when we went to open our accounts where we had to be using Translate
Yeah.
for, and this is supposed to
And
be a bank.
that's even by luck because
Yeah,
if you don't find anyone that speaks English, you're going home
yeah,
that
going
day
home, you have to
without.
come next day. Even
Yeah.
our insurance, the same thing. They claim that they are the number one when it comes to dealing with English speaking people.
Hmm.
Same thing, their app is in German, support is in German, letters in German. So I think that was another thing we thought that okay, when we come here, at least there will be some institutions that will be English speaking, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, so I think another thing for me would be the culture shock. Like there were a lot of culture shocks for us. So the first thing that we heard in Germany is that they
Yeah.
don't make noise on Sundays. Like no matter the noise, like you can't vacuum, you can't use your washing machine, like you can't make noise generally. I've even heard cases of like neighbors reporting their
Yeah,
own
to the
neighbor
police. Yeah.
to like the
I mean, we've been
landlord or
lucky.
something.
We
Yeah,
haven't had
we'll be
anyone
very
reporting us.
lucky. But even in our case, we've had like very noisy neighbors like that make noise on
Always
Sundays
blasting
as
music.
yeah. But that was one culture shock for us. I think another one would be the ambulance noise. Like if you stay in the city area of Berlin, like you can literally hear the noise like 4 to 5 times
Yeah,
or
it's like
even more. Like the noise is so loud. Like you legit hear it from your house. That noise is really loud. And then again, I think another thing would be when the ambulance is on the road and you hear the noise, like all cars stop on the road and
yeah.
allow the ambulance to pass. From where we come from, so from where we come from, like when there's an ambulance, like rarely would you see cars parting way.
Yeah.
for the
To
ambulance to
pass.
go
Yeah.
through, right? So I think that was another culture shock. So another culture shock, guys, is when you go to the supermarket, guys,
Yeah.
you have to come along with your bags because they don't give you nylons, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, where we come from in Nigeria, you go to the supermarket
In fact,
to
you can
get
even ask for
grocery.
extra. Give me two.
Yes, do
Double
you
it.
get, like, you even complain to
Yeah. To
the
the attendants to
you
them.
complain to the attendant that please, like, the nylon is not enough, or if the nylon cuts, do you
They give you
get,
a new one.
they give you a new one. But here in Germany, like, you carry like 4 bags depending on what you want to get though. So you have to carry your bags along. What people get these days is I think that
The stroller.
the stroller, which is more convenient, right? And I think the last culture shock, I mean, there are so many culture shocks, but the
Yeah.
final one I'll be talking about is just get prepared when going to the supermarket because the attendant is extremely fast, guys. Like, you're legit putting your stuff on the counter and she just throwing it, like putting it, like, you have to be extremely fast because
Yeah.
obviously in cases where like there's a queue, right? Even with or without a queue, like, you just have to be on your A game. Like, you have to pack your things immediately into your bag, make payment, and then leave. Like, they are extremely fast about it. So I
Yeah.
think that's one culture shock because, like, I'm always referring to where we come from, right? Like, where we come from, like, we take our time to pack our things. Even the securities even
You
offer
don't
to
help.
help.
Yeah, and taking
So
it to your car
do
and
you
being all
get? But
nice.
here in Germany, like, there's nothing nice about it. Like, you go to the supermarket, like, the attendant rushes you and you just literally have to pack it. That's like an exercise for the day.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the second question, what would you say were the realities of us staying in Germany here?
Realities we faced. I think the very first one is, and this is maybe the most popular one, because even people in Germany here know it, but Germany is a very bureaucratic country.
Extremely.
You first of all, you have to be ready to, if you are someone who doesn't understand German, you have to get the Google Translate app. That's the first thing.
That's been a
Because
lifesaver.
when you move into Germany, the first like 3 4 months, you are going to receive over 100 letters, and I don't mean email. I mean like physical letter dropped in your mailbox,
Mm-hmm.
and it's also hard getting an appointment for anything. So you know, in Nigeria, I mean, when you want to, let's say you want to go to, I don't know, maybe NPC office, for example, you just go to the office. You might see one woman eating granuts. You give her like 500. She will attend to you, and you go home. Here you have to book an appointment. First of all, the portal, the earliest date you might see might be like 3 months down. And
And that's
then
early for them.
that's early
Oh.
for them. And then the annoying part is when you pick, say, 9 a.m. next week, Monday, when you go there Monday next week, there's a long queue. So even the time that you see online is even not useful. So I think the very first reality is the fact that it's very bureaucratic. There's a lot of manual work. You have to send letters to post office. They will tell you that email is not secured, so you have to send it physically. They will reply to you physically, and it's all in German, right? In fact, there are even some appointment that you have to go with someone that speaks German
Yeah.
because you might not see an English speaking attendant or case officer, so you have to like go with someone that speaks German.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's like the biggest reality for anyone that plans to come to Germany.
Yeah, so I think a second reality would be booking an appointment to, like, visit the hospital. Here in Germany is
Yeah,
just so I wouldn't say difficult, but it's just really taxing because to book an appointment, like, you wouldn't get an appointment until like 2 months
yeah, like
later or even 3 months later, which really doesn't make sense because I mean, in cases where you have someone that is really ill, right?
yeah,
I mean, their ambulance system is really good.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, true.
you call, what's the number
If you want
again?
to, or want to,
Yeah, I mean, you call the ambulance line and then they respond immediately. That's
yeah,
really nice, and I applaud them for that. But in terms of like booking a hospital appointment, God, like, that's really, it's so hard, and I think it really doesn't make sense. And there are several apps that you can book, like
yeah.
a doctor's appointment. I think there's Doctor
Doctor
Leave.
Lee, sorry,
There's
most of
also
plan.
another one which I can't really remember, but yeah, that was one reality for us because I mean, when we came newly, we just thought we could randomly. I know, like, back in Nigeria, actually, we
Mm.
book appointments, but
Yeah, but it's like maybe for the
yeah, it's
next day. It's not like
yeah.
yeah,
Do you get, like, it's maybe like weeks later, or but here in Germany, you literally can see an appointment for the following year. I'm not kidding you. Like, it's just
And
it's just overwhelming.
and to stay on this your hospital point, I think another thing you would lose coming from where we are from, Nigeria, is that personal touch with your doctor. I mean, it's there, but I think because of the number of people they attend to, in Nigeria, for example, hear people saying, "Oh, let me call my doctor," and you just call a doctor, and then you see
Yeah,
your doctor. Here, even though it's your, general practitioner doctor, which
yeah,
is the one you go to, you still need to book an appointment, and chances are the doctor has like multiple patients, so it loses some relationship sort of, which is something that I think you would need to adjust to. And yeah, another thing I think is, this one is in terms of the job.
hmm,
Now, maybe this is also because of the times we are in, where there
yeah,
are a lot of companies laying off, and
hmm,
the economy is not so good. But I think the job security here is not as I used to think it was. Let me put it that way.
I mean, in terms of job security, it's everywhere, but our
Yeah, yeah.
expectation here was just kind of different.
So, but yeah, our own reality has been that, it's not as stable as I would have imagined it to be.
Yeah.
So you could just wake up one morning, and then there's a company town hall meeting, and then there's like general layoff, and you who just moved from Nigeria like 2 months ago, they lay you off. And it's always harder for us, because generally when there's a layoff, it starts with those that may be on probation, because it's easier to lay off people on probation than people that are full staff.
Hmm.
So one of the realities is, when you move in, just be prepared
Yeah,
that
be
at any
prepared.
point you can get laid off, and not being laid off because, oh, you've been, your performance is
Or you
very
don't know your
poor,
job or
just
anything. Yeah.
because either maybe they felt they needed a different profile for the role, or maybe because the company needs more money to,
Yeah.
and then yeah.
So speaking of jobs, I would say getting a job, especially for
Yeah.
non-tech
Yeah.
professionals,
Yeah.
getting a non-tech job is really hard. So we relocated to Germany over a year, and it took me close to a year finding a job. And the job I got is not even like a full-time job. It was a
Yeah.
student job. And I mean, I was able to get this job because I like decided to do my masters here in Germany, and I got like
Yeah.
a work student job, a
Yeah.
work student role, right? And I mean, another advantage is that there's possibility of them retaining you because you started as a student.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just really hard, especially for non-tech professionals. It's really hard getting a job because one major requirement via LinkedIn or Glassdoor is that you have to learn how to speak German. So imagine if you want to go into the HR space, or if you want to be a banker, or
No
if you want
marketing,
to,
no.
yeah, or marketing or social media, right? You have to learn German. So
Yeah.
that's one reality.
Yeah. Another reality, the tax you pay in Germany.
Hmm.
Now, I think
A lot.
to be honest, up to now, I don't know the percentage, but I think it's 40 something, 48 or 49, or somewhere around that region. And then you have to pay for, the other things like pension and social security. So at the end of the day, you are almost get taking half of what you're meant to earn.
And
And most of these companies, when they are employing you, they always talk in gross. So it doesn't sound small to you. It sounds big when you hear the euros, but at the end of the first month, when you see what is in your paycheck, it's like almost half. Now, in our case, to be honest, because we are married, so if you are married, so they
yeah.
have different tax classes. So if you are married, you actually pay less in taxes than if you are single.
So if you're coming to Germany,
Get
it's
married.
advised saving.
Yeah, man.
Just get
Although
married.
you only get the benefits if you and your partner are in Germany. So even if you are
Yeah.
married and your spouse is maybe still in Nigeria, so regardless of your marital status, you still pay as a single person. But if
Hmm.
both of you are in Germany, then the two of you get to pay less. And I think that's because they are trying to probably increase their population. So they're trying
Hmm.
to give people one reason to get married. I mean, so the taxing here is like bloody. So just get ready for it.
Yeah, get ready for it, guys. So I think another reality, I think a final reality for us would be you get to spend a lot, especially on rent, guys. I mean, tax has its own allocation of budget, but
Yeah.
for rent, you spend a lot. Like it's really, really expensive. And guys, please make sure not to do this. Do not convert your euros to naira. Don't do this. I think I'm very guilty of
Yeah,
this
I
because
think initially even me I used to do it. Like when you hear
yeah,
something, you just multiply in your head.
I
Like
swear. Because I mean, there were times that we had to buy things. Like there were times that we went grocery shopping and we're like, how much is this thing? And they will not convert euros to
to naira.
naira. Guys, please don't do that. Do not.
Okay, so the next question is, how did we make friends in Germany?
How did we make friends in Germany? I mean, in as much as there are various opportunities and also platforms you can make friends in Germany, I would say you have to be very intentional about it because it's possible that you have, like, you go for events, you go for all of these things,
Or
and
go to
then
Tinder. And
and then Tinder is for couple now.
no, it's
It's
for
Tinder for
anything. Hook
friendship,
up, friendship,
please.
anything. Go to Tinder.
Anyways, like I feel like you have to be very intentional. So
So how
in
did you make friends?
so in my case, we there's this Nigerian youth in Berlin community. So it's more like a community where a lot of Nigerians are in, right? And I think on a monthly basis they come up like with events,
Meetups.
yeah, meetups that you can come meet your fellow Nigerian, right? And I mean, I was able to make great friends through that community. So I
Yeah.
think that's one major place I was able to make friends.
Nigeria it's in Berlin. We just gave you free PR.
So I've said how I made my own friends. How did you make your own friends?
I mean, in my case, it was slightly different because
Yeah,
I have a lot of friends in Germany, although a few of them are in Hamburg and then one person is in Munich. But I think I have more of the friends I had in Nigeria because most of them moved here to
relocated
Germany.
to
So I
Germany.
have
Yeah.
people that are in Berlin that we just catch up sometimes. Okay, yeah, another avenue I think for me, I've also made friends from my company.
Oh
Because yeah,
yeah.
in my company we have two Nigerians there.
Hmm.
So apart from Nigerians, there are also very chill people there. So
Yeah.
these are the places I've made friends from.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next question. What would you say you really like about Germany? I think Berlin to be precise,
Yeah,
right?
since
Yeah.
we've our own experiences in Berlin.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the first thing is the transport system. It's probably the
Top
best.
notch.
Yeah, it's probably the best in the whole of Europe because we've spoken to people from UK and even other places outside Berlin.
Yeah.
It's not so good. In Berlin, you can comfortably stay without a car,
Yeah, true.
and you have the train, you have
Tram.
the tram. So there are different avenues for you to move around. Yes, to have a car is good because you can,
The
yeah,
comforts.
the comfort.
Yeah.
Because in the public transport you meet some people that
A lot
but
of
anyways, that's a talk for
a
another
lot of
day. Yeah,
mentally unstable
but
people.
I think the number one thing that I really enjoy about Berlin is the fact that the highest you walk is maybe 10 minutes without seeing a means of. Oh, and then we forgot the bus actually.
Oh
So you
yeah,
have
true.
bus, yeah.
Actually,
So you
yeah,
have bus, you
yeah.
have tram, you have train,
Like
you have
everything, you have
underground.
options.
So
Yeah.
for me, I think the number one thing is how good the transport system is. And one thing, unlike the UK system, they operate with trust. So
Mm.
what that means is you can literally move around Berlin without buying a ticket. They do
But don't try it, though, guys.
they
Do
do
not
they
try
do
it.
they do periodic checks. So like you can be in a train one day and you just see one of the workers there coming to ask you for your ticket. But there are people that have been here for years and they've never met those people in the
Yeah,
system.
but I
Yeah,
wouldn't recommend you do it because I mean, in our case, we've met them like several
yeah,
times, and we were always covered because I mean, we pay for our
yeah,
transport fare. So I think another would be their health system. The health system here
yeah. It's very
is
good.
excellent. It's so good. And if you have an insurance, like it's
Mm-hmm.
possible that your insurance can cover for a lot of things. I mean, like there are surgeries that or operations that you would want to do and then your insurance covers for it. So the
Yeah.
health system is really good.
And I think in
Yeah.
terms of specialists, they have literally every specialist for anything you
Everything,
can think of.
anything.
Another thing I would say is the fact that your visa or your residence title allows you to travel to so many places.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Germany is part of the Schengen area, and the Schengen area is just like ECOWAS, where you
Mm-hmm.
have like countries that have agreed to to allow free movements within themselves. I mean, you can go in and out as long as you are a legit resident of any of the Schengen area.
Yeah.
So with the blue card or with the German visa, you can travel to, like, I think there are like 19 countries. I think
No, I think it's even
it's
more.
even more. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
travel to those countries with no issues. So I think that's
And
like,
all you have to do is just pay for your tickets.
yeah. So
Like,
for me,
just amazing.
it's a big plus.
Yes, I think another thing for me would be Germany or Berlin, because I mean we stay in Berlin.
Yeah,
Berlin has diverse cultures and dishes. Like, guys, I kid you not, if you're coming to Berlin, like, you don't even have to bother about food, because like you have a lot of Asian restaurants. So in our case, if we're going on a date, like, we love to dine out in a lot of Asian restaurants. So there are a lot of
yeah.
Asian restaurants, because I mean they eat similar to what we eat as
Hmm.
Nigerians, and there are also Chinese restaurants. There are diverse dishes that you would really love here in Berlin. So yeah, so you don't have to worry about like dishes or like what to eat. I mean, Germans, do they really have like food? Like, do they have something in
Apart from
particular?
bread,
Bread,
yeah.
yes.
Apart from bread, I
Yeah.
don't think they have like a lot of variety like that.
Yeah, they don't.
They themselves don't have a lot of things they eat. I think it's mostly people that are coming,
Yeah.
Vietnamese, Lebanon, all those other
Yeah.
people.
Okay, so our next question, babe. Let's see how well you know German.
I don't know.
So what is your favorite German word?
Nothing.
Guys,
I,
after 1 year.
nothing. I mean, it's to be honest, you can maneuver the state, the city without learning
Yeah.
German. But I don't have any German word, to be
Well, I
honest.
think I think I should even coin the question as, what's the famous German words you hear?
Choose,
Tschüss. Chat.
choose.
No, I'll try to say ciao. Guten Morgen.
I actually don't
And
hear that
what
one.
else?
I don't hear that one that much. I think
Yeah.
it's mostly choose that I hear,
Genau.
and maybe what else?
What
Yeah,
else?
that's probably it.
Hello. I think
But
hello is like the major.
I think the first German I learned was Apotheke, because it just had this resounding feel to the ear. Oh, Apotheke,
Yeah,
Apotheke.
well, Krankenhaus.
No, that one is too hard. But Apotheke, I like. Apotheke is pharmacy, by the way. Is it pharmacy?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a
pharmacy. Apotheke is
pharmacy.
pharmacy, but
Yeah.
that's like the first thing we learned. Maybe because when we moved to Berlin, I think we needed to go to pharmacy to buy something the first or second day.
Yeah.
So like that's but
That was the first German language we learned.
yeah, in terms
Apotheke.
of German, I'm good.
Guys, we suck at, I wouldn't say we suck, but like
Now we
people,
suck.
but anybody learning German can agree to the fact that German is a very hard language.
Exactly,
So
because even I have German colleagues who even say how German is hard for
yes,
them
they
because
testify to the fact
yeah,
that German is
so
really hard. So I mean, we're not trying to justify why we haven't learned German, but I mean, I think if there's a way to justify, please, we. But anyways, moving on to our very last question for today. Our very, very last question. Why am I emotional about it? What do you miss about your beloved country, Nigeria?
nightlife.
Nightlife, right? I
I
miss the
think,
food. Ah,
yeah, the food
I
and
miss the food.
yeah.
I miss amala. I miss
Sorry,
iwedu.
sorry. For
God,
people that eat amala, what exactly in that meal do you enjoy?
there's everything to enjoy
From
in
the
that meal.
preparation to the
Please,
swallow to the soup, what
it's
exactly do you enjoy in
it's
that food?
amazing. It's lovely.
It should be
It's
banned.
very nutritious.
Amala and fish, those things should be banned.
Please.
But yeah, I think for me the nightlife, and it's different. There's nightlife in Berlin. Don't get me wrong, but I think the kind of vibe you're looking for, it's not really, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah. So I mean, I also miss my friends as well. You know,
Yeah.
relocating comes with a lot of emotional imbalance,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, you get to leave your friends behind, you get to leave your family members
Hmm.
behind. Even at some point, it's possible as an adult that you're even homesick in a
Mm.
new country. So yeah,
Not me though, but
I'm speaking for everybody, but anyway, but anyways, like I
yeah,
miss my friends, I miss my family members. Like I
yeah.
just miss. It's funny how sometimes you even miss the traffic. Like you miss like the most annoying, like things that usually used to be very annoying to you. Like I think generally
Don't
that's just
worry,
how life
don't worry.
is.
They'll soon come for you now and tell you, "Oh, yeah, come back now, come back now."
But I don't miss Aja traffic, sha.
I think for me,
Oh my god.
another thing I miss is driving. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
we've been here for
true.
1 year, and I actually miss those evenings where you just want to drive, need to go and buy
Yes.
suya, just play music, and you're just chilling in the car. I think
Yes.
I miss that feeling
I
as
don't I
well.
don't even think I remember how to drive anymore, to
No
be
worries.
honest.
These are the things that when you enter a car, you'll be good. Maybe you might need to
Yeah.
learn the signs
Yeah.
and the different
True.
things. But I think
True.
in terms of the core driving itself. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's another thing I miss about Nigeria. Um, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's it, guys. So we've come to the end of this video. If you've watched this video this far, thank you so much. So if you have more questions to ask us, let's continue this conversation in the comment section. And I mean, I'll be there to respond. But anyways, thank you so much for supporting this channel. I really do appreciate you. Thank you once again to my new subscribers as well. And yeah,
So don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and please share this video. Go to your family WhatsApp group. WhatsApp group is one thing you have in Nigeria. Every
I swear.
family, go there, drop the link, just interact with us, and thank you for
Yeah.
sticking
Thank
with
you,
us.
guys. So bye for now.